So the Milwaukee Bucks are not going to fire Doc Rivers. So Giannis, go prepare to be traded. You're going to be traded very, very soon. Milwaukee are not firing Doc Rivers. They are not firing the horrific coach that is Doc Rivers. They're not firing Glenn. Like, at this stage, like, in the year of 2024, I think we should very, very much be talking about, when we talk about Doc Rivers, man, Doc is in the past. This is Glenn right now. We're talking about Glenn. You know, the aura went, ever since his likes got leaked on Twitter at that time, and I'm not talking about what happened there, you can look it up. Ever since then, the aura of Doc Rivers is gone. He just became Glenn. And this is a coach who I thought did a pretty good job in LA. And other than when he looked into having one of the best teams ever in the 08 Celtics, he got the big three, and then he just happened to have Rajon Rondo and Tony Allen and James Posey. And in fairness to him, Kendrick Perkins was a big, huge lump of a man, which you needed in the 2000s. And yeah, he just looked into getting that team. And other than with those guys, Doc Rivers has really struggled with decent teams, but he has excelled with teams that are not meant to be good. What Doc Rivers as a coach was good at in his peak was taking a 20-win team and turning them into a 40-win team. He did it a couple of times with the Clippers. He did it a couple of times he did with the Magic. What Doc Rivers was very bad at was turning the fifth best team in the NBA into a contender, which a good coach can do. Or not even turning them into a contender, turning a contender into a legit contender. Like, every year when he was with the Clippers were expected to be, other than the 1 year where they did way better than they thought, 2019, where he did a great job. The Clippers underperformed and choked so many playoff series. And then you had, when he went to Philly underperformed and choked. And they did it twice. Or did they do it 3 times? 2021, 2022. I'm not going to blame them for 2022. They played, was it Miami with Embiid injured in 2022? But they had Harden. So they should have been better. And in 2023, they had a 3-2 lead against Boston and blew it. So, like, he's been a playoff choke artist. And then he goes to Milwaukee and takes a decent team, which Adrian Griffin coached, and has hardly won a game since. I could certainly see the Bucks doing some kind of deal, if not more than one by the February 6th deadline. They can't. They're in the second apron. It's almost impossible unless they want to trade Brook Lopez, which no one's going to take. It's very tough. But in terms of big stuff that comes to team calculus, Giannis, Dame, Glenn, and Chris, I don't see anything changing. For those asking whether Rivers could be on the hot seat, let's not forget they paid him $40 million 3.5-year deal. And yeah, they're still paying Coach Bud. They're still paying, as far as I'm aware, they're still paying Adrian Griffin. And then Doc Rivers getting $10 million a year. I keep forgetting. Glenn Rivers is getting paid $10 million a year. Because I don't want not even the legacy of Doc Rivers. I don't want the guy who wasn't that bad a selection for the top 15 coaches ever to be associated with what this guy Glenn is doing right now. It's like I can't even remember the name, but it's like in Yu-Gi-Oh! When, like, he put on the necklace or something and he became, like, the perfect Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever the hell card game was called in that. What was it called? I don't even know. I'm just remembering back to my childhood. I haven't watched it past the age of 6. And he became just another person, and then when he took off the, like, pyramid-y thing, he just became his normal person again. It's like Doc Rivers. It's like Doc and Glenn Rivers. They're two different people, and this version of this version of him is just Glenn. And the Bucks go into the play-in at this rate, man. If the Bucks were in the Western Conference, they would not be in the play-in. They are just lucky the Eastern Conference is so bad. Like, they are lucky the Eastern Conference sucks. They have beaten the Utah Jazz. They have beaten, literally, the Utah Jazz and the Sixers without Embiid and Paul George. Like, what is going on? Like, they're terrible. And Giannis is having maybe the best start of his season of his career. The defense is terrible. Let's look at the response. Every other fan base here in Doc Rivers ain't in the hot seat after stinking it up for almost a year. The problem is that you can't just keep firing coaches because you're just paying them out too much. And I'm not going to lie. Them making the play-in is a legit possibility. And I think I might have called it coming into the season. I think I might have called it. I think I might start the season predictions. I think I had called Milwaukee making the play-in. Yeah, actually, damn. I said Milwaukee and Denver are one early season injury away from falling in the play-in. That was my prediction. My prediction was that a play-in team makes the conference finals, and I had Thunder v Nuggets and Bucks v Celtics as the two conferences. And then I literally had said both Bucks and Nuggets are one early season injury, Chris Middleton, away from falling into the play-in. Except I thought that early season injury was going to come to one of Giannis or Dame, not Chris Middleton. But yeah, like I think they've just conceded it's over. I genuinely think they just conceded it's done. If you're a Milwaukee fan, enjoy this season. Enjoy the season of Giannis, because your championship window's over. Like, it is absolutely, absolutely Jover. And look, it is what it is. It's not the end of the world that it's Jover, but it's Jover. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you guys think they should just bite the bullet and pay the 30 or 40 million or whatever it is to pay off Doc Rivers? Do you guys think that Glenn should be fired and never hired again? Or do you guys think they should just say, you know what, we're gonna play it out. We're gonna have Glenn for 4 years, or that we're gonna go and we're going to get Giannis. We're gonna trade Giannis. We're gonna trade Dame, and then we're gonna trade Middleton. We're gonna try trade all three of them, and we're gonna rebuild. But then while we're rebuilding, we're gonna have Doc Rivers as a tank commander, which is a role that I think he can probably do pretty well right now. I think Doc would be a pretty good tank commander. And because you only have your own picks, Doc Rivers, I think, can keep a team at the 13th, 14th pick and semi-competitive and rebuild it like he did with the Clippers. I think he could still probably do that. I think that's probably the way they're looking at it, that they're probably going to break it up, and Doc Rivers, in fairness, is a good coach at making teams that shouldn't be competitive. He's just not good at anything else as a coach. Let's be real.